Good morning, you guys. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning here in New York. We don't get a lot of sun out here, so it's absolutely beneficial and necessary that when we do, I get out here and I get some vitamin D, and I use nature's best resource when it comes to healing, and when it comes to energy, when it comes to anything, honestly. But today's video is not about the sun. I'll possibly make a future video about that. But today's video is going to be about something called hypnotic rhythm. Now, before you guys click off because you heard some sort of, scientific term that you don't understand or you don't know, kind of want to explain exactly what that is to you. It's helped me so much in my spiritual journey and in my growth. It's helped me understand myself more in the universe, and also energy, vibrations, and energies, and frequencies. I'm sorry, not energies. So basically what hypnotic rhythm is it's your brain's way of repetitively having the same thought over and over, to the point that the thought no longer is a conscious thought. It now becomes a subconscious thought. And now you have these thoughts subconsciously, which means you don't realize them. Now these thoughts, the more that they're repetitive, they then turn into characteristic traits. They then turn into habits. They turn into things that you do on a daily basis subconsciously that you don't realize. Now the process of making that thought move from the conscious to the subconscious and then turn into a habit, it's called hypnotic rhythm. Now a lot of people hearing that would think that hypnotic rhythm is this negative thing, but hypnotic rhythm actually plays both sides of the coin. So it is responsible for embedding positive and negative thoughts into your subconscious mind. So I know you guys have probably heard the saying before, when it rains, it pours. That's where this saying comes from. So like I said, I know we all heard the saying, when it rains, it pours, and we all know somebody that constantly bad things are happening to them. They tend to dwell over the bad things. Every time you're around them, they're talking about negative things. They seem to bring down your energy, and you don't want to be around them because of that. That is somebody that is stuck in a negative thought loop, and they are allowing hypnotic rhythm to take over their life and basically allow them to move subconsciously in a negative way. And now on the flip side of it, we've all probably met somebody who's very lucky, and we're like, damn, I want to be like this person. Why is it they always get this and they always get that? They're always so lucky. They're always winning. They're always this. They're always making money. And we all know that person. That person is somebody that's allowing hypnotic rhythm to take over their life in a positive way. That's a person that has positive thoughts, a positive self-worth, positive thought habits, positive verbal, positive verbiage, which means they speak positively on top of think positively. And then more powerful than those two, they feel positively. The feeling is always going to be more powerful than the thought and the speech. So they feel positively. And now with all three of those things consistently, repetitively, you allow hypnotic rhythm to then take over your life, and now to push these positive things into your physical reality. And that is why you're not having positive things happen to you. That's why you might talk or you might think positively, but you feel negatively, so things aren't going your way. Now how do you make all of this click? Because I know you guys are like, all right, this is just, a knowledgeable session, this is a seminar, but it's not actually telling me how to fix my issue. So I'm going to tell you guys from personal experience how I fixed my issue using hypnotic rhythm. So my first step was to get closer to God. And now, before you guys click off this video, because I know some people are going to be like, that's so subjective, it's such a big statement, how do you get closer to God? I'm going to tell you how you get closer to God. The first thing you need to do is you need to realize that everything around you is created by a creator. I know a lot of people nowadays, they're starting to wake up a bit, but if you think that there was some accident in the universe, called the Big Bang Theory, that all of a sudden put this big floating ball into solidified this big solid ball, and everything around us, the grass, the trees, the beautiful animals, the creations, the fact that we're able to make babies out of body parts that were given to us, and we still think that this was all accidental, this wasn't purposeful. I like to use this perfect analogy that there are creatures and animals that live in specific habitats, that they have to eat the food in the habitat to survive. Do you think that that's an accident? Do you think that there would have been a big bang, and all of a sudden that big bang made it so that every creature has a specific food that they're supposed to eat in a specific place? Dolphins feed their kids differently than sharks feed their kids. Like, why is it that we have all these? There's only one answer. It's because somebody created it. And there is a creator, and once you realize that you need to be closer to the creator needs to be your priority. And more importantly, the creator is not external, it's not outside of you, he's inside of you. If you read the Bible, you should know this. You should know the Bible isn't literal, and you should know how many times that God mentions that he is within us and we are made in his image, which means just like he is special and he is magical, you are special and you are magical. And once you realize this, then you realize that I control my own reality. And that is when you can take control of your life and you can start using hypnotic rhythm in your favor, instead of letting these things like fear, anger, hate, greed, and all of these feelings from the devil pollute your brain. And then hypnotic rhythm kicks in. And once it finally kicks in after that, good morning, brother. And then once it finally kicks in after that, now your life is negative. Now your thoughts are like negative. Now your verbiage is negative because you let the devil take control of you, and then hypnotic rhythm then took over. So getting closer to God is going to be so important, because God is going to be the one that plants those positive thoughts into your brain. Now, the first steps that I took personally was I started to read the Bible. And I still read the Bible, but I've shifted more to my priority being meditation. Because once you realize that God is within you and you are magical, and the way that you open and you activate this magic is through your third eye in your brain, then you're going to realize how important meditation is. You're going to realize how important taking no thought is. Sorry, another car. You're going to realize how important taking no thought is in meditation, making sure that you are thinking about nothing, because that's how you're going to be close to God. God is within you. So if you are able to go within yourself and think of nothing and be still, you are going to get a visit from God. You are going to be able to connect with God, and you're going to start realizing these spiritual and magical things happen to your life. I talk about it with my girlfriend all the time. Like, magical things are always happening to me. Spiritual things are always happening. I'm always noticing these different symbols and getting these different opportunities. Why is it? It's because I'm so in touch with the person that's inside of me, the creator. So with that being said, I want you to know that everything within is without, everything as above as below, which means that if you do not like what's going on in your physical reality, it is because of you. It is a direct reflection on what is going on internally inside of you. If you can awaken that God consciousness, if you can change those thoughts from negative to positive, regardless of what's going on in your life. I've lied to myself since I was 17 during meditation. Eventually, my brain believed what I was telling it. So a lot of people are going to say, am I supposed to lie to myself? You are supposed to lie to yourself. If your thoughts are naturally negative now, lie to your brain and tell your brain positive thoughts. Switch whatever negative thoughts you have in your brain to positive thoughts. Switch whatever negative verbiage you let out of your mouth into positive verbiage. And eventually, through meditation, through visualization, the feeling will then follow the verbiage, and it will follow the thoughts with more repetition. And as soon as you get repetition, that is when hypnotic rhythm is going to kick in, and it's going to make everything easy for you. And now it's going to work in your favor. Now, before this video ends, the last thing I want to talk about is adversity. In order for you to bring your mind to its default, its resetted setting, so that it can allow itself to have positive thoughts, positive verbiage, and let hypnotic rhythm take over its life, you need adversity. Adversity is what stunts habits. Adversity is what resets the brain. So adversity, you going through things in your life, it's God's way of strengthening you, but it's also a way of resetting the brain so that you can actually allow these positive thoughts to pop into the brain. You can actually allow hypnotic rhythm to reset and take over in a positive way. Because if hypnotic rhythm is affecting your life in a negative way right now, you need adversity. You need to go through something. You need that brain to be broken down for you to then replace the thoughts with positive thoughts and positive verbiage. So then hypnotic rhythm can then take over the positive part of your life and not the negative part of your life. Before that, you need adversity. So if you're going through adversity right now and you're asking why, it's not a negative, it's a positive. Flip it. You can actually use that adversity to then reset your mind, think more positively, have more positive verbiage, and then eventually hypnotic rhythm will take it over, and it will be smooth sailing from there. I love you all. If you guys like this video, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I will keep dropping more spiritual content for you guys. I love you all.